Hey, welcome to Surviving the Badge, everybody. We appreciate y'all joining us. Tonight, we are going to talk about National Telecommunicators Communications Week, 911 operators.
Yeah, do a nice little shout out.
Absolutely, because I'll tell you what, as many years as we had in the job, we could not have done a tenth of the job we did without our 911 dispatchers. They are phenomenal. I'm still very close friends with numerous 911 dispatchers that we had. They were, man, just the coup de grace. They were amazing. So stick around. We're going to talk about that as soon as we get back. Thanks.
All right.
So like I was saying in the intro there, I was a police officer for 35 years. Camille for over 20 years.
Hey, LT, real quick.
Yeah.
When you went up to the call box,
oh, here we go.
And you took your key.
I'm going to hit you with this beer bottle is what I'm going to do. I'm going to knock you right in the head.
And you opened it up, right?
Yeah, beer bottle.
and you picked up the phone and you.
Well, it couldn't hurt that hairdo. Jesus, look at that hairdo. He looks like Einstein, freaking maniac.
So on the other end, was that a dispatcher or was that an officer at the desk?
It was an officer at the desk.
Okay.
So background, you heard our experience before I was so rudely interrupted by Einstein over here. I was actually a dispatcher for about a year. I was part-time. And back then we didn't have 911 in the city we were at. And we dispatched for fire.
You had to dial O for operator, right? To have them dispatch.
Well, they would, but you could just dial the direct phone number. Back then it was only 7 digits because you didn't have to dial the area code.
Right.
But anyway, I know I'm telling my age. We dispatched for fire and police. And I'll tell you what, we had to get the call from the people. You had to try and find out where they were calling from because you didn't have a screen telling you where the call was coming from and the telephone number and their name and everything else. So you had to get all that information while they're screaming bloody murder for someone to come help them. And then you had to dispatch the police. And if it was a fire or a medical call, you had to dispatch the fire department. So you had 2 different radios going. And get this, we had no dictaphone that would record everything that went out.
Okay.
So you had to keep a public record of all of that.
So you're writing it all down?
So I had to write down every single thing that was said on the radio by all the firemen and by all the policemen. And I was in there by myself.
Yeah, that's all bad.
So as we went through, years down the road, I worked with some dispatchers that really struggled and they had problems. Oh, it's just too much. And I said, let me tell you about too much. You've got a 911 screen. Yeah, you've got a 911 screen telling you where they're calling from. You got a recording that's recording everything that you can play back to hear what they said. I said, I didn't have any of that. But anyway, our job would not nearly be as effective as it is without our 911 dispatchers. They are the backbone of any police department, fire department, EMS, any of that. They are the backbone.
And they're the lifeline on both ends.
They really are.
You got a victim over there who's trying to, get help, and they're communicating. They're doing a great interview, hopefully, and then relaying that to the officer. And then on the other end, when the officer needs help, they're relaying help and it's got to be such a stressful situation.
It is so freaking stressful.
They're trying to break down the door right now.
They're trying to get in the house right now?
Yes, I can hear them.
I know it's hard, but are they trying to kick in the door or just trying to get the door open?
I don't know.
Okay, then how do you know
I
that?
think they might be inside. Please help.
I would go in after a really hot call, and I can remember Aaron on one occasion and Vicky on one occasion, going in there, and Tanya, and going in there, and they were in absolute tears, still doing their job, doing their job. Didn't ask for anybody to come in there, but walk in there, and they're just an absolute wreck, and they're in tears. And I'd say, go take a break. A couple of them smoked. This is way back. A couple of them smoked. Go have a cigarette. I got it. And I would sit in there and, and take over for them for a little bit. Because you've got somebody screaming that somebody's stabbing them, shooting them, beating them, doing whatever. They're trying to get that information, keep them calm to get all the information, and then dispatch the officer and relay everything that's going back and forth. Then the officers are asking for information. What's the color of the house? You know, what are the cars out in the, what color are the cars in the driveway? Because at a nighttime call, you don't want to ride up to the front of a domestic violence call and shine your spotlights all over the front of the house. Well, now you've given away what?
Yeah, your
tactical
position.
advantage.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it is an extremely tough job. I don't think that these men and women are given enough love. I don't. I always tried to. Like I said, I am still extremely close with numerous dispatchers that worked for me because I cared about them and I showed them that I cared about them. So any of you guys and gals that are watching this that are in law enforcement, give that dispatcher a phone call every now and then on a non-emergency line, non-recorded line if you can, and say, hey, I really appreciate what you did for me out there. And if you weren't here, shit would have went south.
Yeah.
Because they like to hear that, man. And I did it over the radio a lot. I'd say, dispatch, great job.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of supervisors and a lot of cops don't do that. You know, they do the high fives out there and everybody's high fiving and, you know, shucking and jiving, as Pick used to say.
Yep. And they're part of the team too.
Right. They are part of the team. They're one of the biggest part of the teams, and they never get the credit. And so Camille and I are here to give you the credit. So we are going to give you a big salute.
Yep.
Salute to all of you men and women out there in that 911 communications center. We appreciate you very much. Thank you.
And for you new officers, and you officers have been on the road for a long time, you know what I'm talking about. I'm about to say, don't be an asshole to the dispatcher.
That's right.
There are so many new officers who think, "Oh, I'm better than anybody else," and
they're there to serve me.
Right? No, it's a team. It's a
It
team
is a
effort.
team.
And if you decide that you're going to be an asshole to the dispatchers, well, you know.
It can work both ways too. Them dispatchers
It
can
can
get a case of "I can't hear you" itis.
Yeah.
And you're out there trying to run tags. Well, you're gonna have to stand by.
Yeah.
Run a driver's license on a crash scene, and you're trying to get the hell out of there in the pouring down rain. You'll have to stand by.
Yeah.
And I know a couple of you dispatchers that are watching this are laughing your ass off, going, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of that is most. I would say most of that is because it's a responsive officer being a big jerk face. Do not do it.
Yeah,
Either
don't
way,
do it.
just be really nice. So our salute. Who's our salute brought to you by?
it is brought to you by our sponsors. We are having these beers thanks to our sponsors. I'm having a Sam Adams Summer Ale Citrus Wheat, which I absolutely love.
I'm having a Beach Blonde Ale, and I mean, how awesome is a sponsor that keeps us in beer?
I'm telling you. So here's a little word from our sponsors. Please visit their site if you're in need of their services. We would like to thank our sponsors, Kristen and Tom Clem Realtors. If you're ready to buy or sell a home in the Central Florida area, these are the folks you need to contact. And also to Clem and Company Property Investments. When you're ready to sell that piece of property, make sure you call Tom with Clem and Company Property Investments. He will take care of you. All of their information can be found in the links below. All right, thanks, sponsors. We really appreciate it very much. Thank you. And just in a parting sentiment here, to all of the dispatchers that worked for us and for all of you out there that are still grinding, answering that phone, dispatching those calls, we appreciate you. Your police officers, whether they say it or not, they appreciate you. You save way more lives than people give you credit for.
Definitely.
And it's a godsend what you're doing out there. Thank you very, very much from the bottom of our hearts.
We always go out to the with my students out to the communication center at the local sheriff's office, and it's amazing how far they've actually come since the day when you had to write everything down.
Yeah.
They have a new system where if you're at a scene, let's say you're the victim and you're calling, and you can actually share your phone video with the dispatcher, and they can see what's going on with the scene.
Yeah, it's like a FaceTime almost, kind of like,
It's
I heard about
amazing the
that.
technology
Video
that's out there.
911.
Yeah, it's just super crazy. And dispatchers, you have to keep up with that all. I mean, it's a high-tech job now. It really is.
Really do. People like Lori that pioneered, and Jeannie that pioneered our dispatch center and turned it into absolutely one of the best that there ever was in our county. People envied our dispatch. I'd be out on call and I'd be getting this and getting that and getting that. And a guy from another department go, dude, can you run this shit for me through your dispatch center? Because I can't get mine to even. I mean, they're so busy. They're not even answering me. You know, when I ask them for a tag, and I'm like, yeah, no problem. You know, these girls and guys, they'll take care of it. Absolutely, bam, and I'd get it, and they'd be like, God, it must be nice. And I'm like, it is. And you know why? Because we're one big family.
Yep.
And we all work as a team. And they knew when I called on the radio, it wasn't for just some horse crap. Well, most of the time.
What do you think about unified dispatch, like the sheriff's offices being the dispatch for the county? What's your opinion on that, LT?
I absolutely do not like it.
No? Okay.
I can't freaking stand it. And here's why, real quick.
Okay.
When you have a bigger agency, and this is all the bigger agencies, and at some point I wish we would have done this to a point, our dispatchers handled regular phone calls for city business.
Right.
Like somebody wanting to know when the fingerprints were open, like somebody wanting to know, you know, if animal control could be called, you know, all this other bullshit that they shouldn't have been doing. I wish we could have had a call taker to screen those calls. And then when it was something serious, turn that call over to the dispatcher that's handling the call, but still listen and type everything in so they didn't have to do that. But we didn't have that. But what I found, because we did switch over eventually to the county sheriff's office, and what I found is there was such a disconnect between the call handler, call taker, and the dispatcher that you would hear officers saying, blah, 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 the agency, can you get the caller on the phone yourself?
Right.
Meaning you take over the damn call and get them on the call, because this going back and forth, it takes too long. You're missing crap, you know, and I don't like it. I really don't.
It sounds like it loses that personal touch also.
It does, because I lost track of who was working my channel. I didn't even know them.
Yeah.
So it was just like another number. And I was like, you know, whatever. Where before.
Next thing you know, it'll be dispatched out of India.
Well, yeah, and what's bad is I could walk into our dispatch center and I could say, hey, we got a problem. You know, if we both got a little ugly with each other, hey, we got a problem. We need to talk about this.
Let's resolve this.
And we'd sit down, we'd talk about it, boom. When they went with the other one, no, you had to go through their supervisor. Then their supervisor would take a complaint. No, I don't want to complain. I want to just talk to them so they know how we handle things.
Let's just settle this.
Yeah, let's just handle it and settle it. Problem with the world today. Nobody wants to talk to each other. They want to text,
exactly,
you know, or send an email. But Aaron, who I nicknamed Iwakovich, gave us a suggestion on our Facebook page and said, hey, you know, it's National Telecommunications Week. You know, you might want to say something about that.
Totally.
And I went, oh my God, abso-freaking-lutely. So Aaron, thank you for the suggestion. We appreciate it. And it's my pleasure and my honor to talk to you guys, you know, and give thanks to everything you guys do. You're unbelievable.
Absolutely. And if you guys have any ideas, any suggestions, throw it on our Facebook or right below while you're liking and subscribing and sending and all that.
Yeah, put a comment in the video.
Yeah. Hey, cover this case or cover this. We'll totally look at it. And if it's a crappy idea, we'll ignore it. If it's a great idea, we'll do it.
And our email is retiredcopsrule, because we do.
We do.
At gmail.com. Retiredcopsrule@gmail.com. Send us any suggestions. We appreciate it. Hey, listen, to all our dispatchers, telecommunication operators, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you very much for what you do, because it's surviving the badge.
We still got your
six. Stay safe out there.